farm, family, community. This is Midwest Farm Weekly.
Good morning, I'm Elaine Wells, and welcome to Midwest Farm Weekly. In your news headlines, the new year starting off with some bad news for millions of Americans. You might be sipping some coffee right now, and it's likely to get more expensive. The problem is rooted in challenges for those who grow it. Michael George explains.
Customers have been coming to Nicholas Coffee Company in Pittsburgh for more than a century, and currently the store is facing a modern challenge: the soaring price of coffee beans.
In the last decade, this is the highest it's been.
Third-generation owner Jordan Nicholas has always seen fluctuations, but these days some coffee commodities are trading around 70% higher than a year ago. That's because supplies are down after severe drought killed plants in Brazil and Vietnam.
This is a little unprecedented territory right now.
And it's not just the lack of supply that's driving prices.
You're talking about wage prices going up. You're talking about fuel prices that have gone up, transportation that's gone up. It's really a whole bunch of combination of things that are actually impacting the price of coffee.
The price many consumers pay for coffee is up about 11% from a year ago, and that daily cup is expected to get more expensive. The companies behind brands like Folgers, Dunkin' Donuts at-home coffee, and Nespresso have already announced price increases, and others could follow suit.
We'll start to see some of that impact in January. The prices will go up, and that's usually kind of when most companies will increase prices.
Nicholas is trying to keep prices in check.
Try to absorb as much as we can. May not pass on the whole amount of that.
That's because he wants customers to keep coming through the door. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
Despite being one of the world's most consumed beverages, coffee can only be grown under very specific conditions, requiring misty, humid, and tropical climates with rich soil free of disease. Aside from a small batch grown in Hawaii, the United States produces little coffee domestically. A former farm has new life as a boutique vacation destination in Door County. I headed to the peninsula to explore the preservation and expansion of this unique site.
I think we wanted people to have a special place that was super unique, forward in design, but forward in activities.
Inspired by the Finnish word loma, meaning holiday, the Loma Cottages concept is taking shape.
It's a special property. You can feel it, and that obviously goes back to the history of it being a 100-plus-year-old farmstead, and there's a lot of effort and toil and love that's been put into this property. So you have this special feeling, and the location in Door County, you can't beat it.
It's centrally located between Bailey's Harbor, Egg Harbor, Fish Creek, and then it's neighboring a golf course and orchards. So the orchards give it a really natural feel, and the history of it, the agriculture of the apples, the people used to grow apples on here.
The goal is to blend the heritage of the property with the comforts of modern living.
Just about everything is brand new. We kept all the wood floors that we could, but we refinished them. But all bathrooms, all kitchens, HVAC, everything's brand new.
Trying to provide the most elevated hospitality that we can. So while we might be considered to some people like an Airbnb, but we're not. You can book direct through us. That we try to be elevated hospitality like you would go to a hotel and experience. So that's what we're focused on providing through the linens, the towels, all the amenities that we have on site.
Fire pits, a putting green, and pickleball courts welcome families to share time together on their vacation.
It's designed to be a year-round destination. We have outdoor sauna, so hopefully that draws a lot of people up, as well as the new cottages have indoor wood-burning stoves. So people can cozy up and build a fire in their cottage in the middle of winter.
Preserving historic buildings is a passion for the team.
Character is really hard to create from thin air, so it's a lot more challenging to do, and I tell you, the new cottages went a lot more smooth. But the character that was created, took 100 years, so that part of it was special.
When the 4 new cottages are finished, Loma will sleep 38. You can book a cottage or 2 or the whole property.
It's so great that families can come here, like somebody like my age and their grandparents or their mom and dad to watch their grandkids, and they can stay in separate accommodations.
We hope that Loma becomes an annual tradition for pretty much any family who stays here. We've had some guests stay here this past summer, and one of their favorite memories that they shared with us of their time here on the property was that they had a grandmother who was in her early 70s playing pickleball with her 9-year-old grandson, and then every age in between, that they could all gather together, not only just to be together, but also play pickleball and spend time, and that's something that they're never going to forget, and we hope that they decide to come back and do that year after year.
If you are looking to book a stay in the new year, we have a link to the Loma Cottages in the Midwest Farm section of wearegreenbay.com. Still to come, before you buy supplies for spring, we'll take a look at what's new on the market. With so many family gatherings this time of year, it is the perfect opportunity to share a little joy by creating some unique and tasty recipes. Taylor Schaefer is here from the Dairy Farmers of Wisconsin. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I know my family has things planned all the way into January for gatherings, so we can continue to enjoy that holiday flair. Talk to us a bit about entertaining. Wisconsin Dairy can make it so easy.
Absolutely, and especially around this time of the year. Every host is looking for innovative menus that are not only unique, but also super easy to put together. So no matter what the recipe you're putting together, Wisconsin Cheese is sure to please every guest at your table, especially since there's so many varieties of cheese to choose from. So everyone will find something to love.
You have something that does a little bit of sweet and savory involving another Wisconsin product, cherries.
Yeah, of course. And that is such an iconic flavor pairing that we see all year, really. So sweet and savory is something that is always on our table, and I love to take that into a perfect bite. So these are specially curated bites that have 4 different ingredients that are perfect together. So we'll start off with the sweet bite, which has been nicknamed the Cherry Jubilee. And as you may know, Jubilees only happen about once every 25 years. But this is something that you would want to celebrate all year round, especially now because it really just encapsulates the full flavor of the holidays. It starts off with a Biscoff cookie, is topped with Wood River Creamery's cheddar Gruyere, sour cherry preserves, and fresh rosemary. But true star of the show is the cheddar and Gruyere blend. And that is made by Wood River Creamery, again in Grantsburg, Wisconsin. And what I love about their cheese is featured on the front of that label are pairing suggestions. So that's another thing that you can really do as a host to help elevate those menus, is to bring in other ingredients to pair with your favorite cheeses. So that one in particular pairs really well with wheat beer and Chardonnay, but of course the possibilities are endless with Wisconsin cheese.
It's like a trip on a plate, because I call those airplane cookies. Every time we travel, that's the kind of cookie I get. So you can take your guests on a little flight. Now we do also have a savory option with the cutest pickles I've ever seen.
I know, with the cornichon. So that one is super, super fun. So it starts off with a seeded baguette and is topped with hard salami, Roth Grand Cru, and then of course the cornichon on top. So again, a little bit more of a savory application, but what I love about Grand Cru is the flavors. So it's actually made in authentic copper vats in Monroe, Wisconsin by Roth Cheese. So it has those fruity notes, these subtle undertones of the meltiness in it. So it's not only like a great cheese to use in recipes for melting, maybe you're a fondue family, that's a great cheese to add in there. It's also a great table cheese that pairs well with just about anything.
If you're like me, you have a countertop full of broken candy canes that you just can't seem to part with, but what are you going to do with them? We have a great dip idea.
Yeah, of course. And this is such an iconic flavor pairing because we always think about peppermint this time of the year, so why not bring it into cheese? And mascarpone is such a unique cheese that also is really applicable to all of your different recipes. So it's great in savory applications and also sweet applications like we have here today. So all that I did with this cheese is actually just mix it in a bowl with some chopped up peppermint bark, and then you can serve it as a dessert dip with whether you want to do Biscoff cookies, you want to do biscuits, even pretzels. It's great with anything. And that is made by Crave Brothers Farmstead Cheese in Waterloo, Wisconsin. It is absolutely delicious, but if you also love chocolate, they have a chocolate mascarpone as well that you could choose from.
Delicious. Now, as we're looking at the cheeses, how do we know that we are supporting Wisconsin farmers?
Yeah, and the greatest way to really look for those cheeses in the store is to look for the Proudly Wisconsin cheese badge on all of your dairy products. So that ensures it was made right here in Wisconsin using Wisconsin milk. It's a great way to give back to our state's dairy producers and our dairy processors, and also really just drive the dairy economy here in Wisconsin. So you can actually find that badge in about 99% of grocery stores nationwide, and that's because about 90% of all of our milk in Wisconsin is made into cheese, and 90% of that cheese is sold outside of the state. So that's a super fun fact for you.
Well, 90% of the cheese is going to end up right on my table after this segment because these are all delicious ideas. Where do we go for even more recipe and pairing ideas?
Yeah, you can look at wisconsincheese.com for some recipe inspiration and also to learn more about our fabulous cheesemakers here in Wisconsin. And then I'd also encourage you to check out our social media pages because that's where we're sharing all of these perfect bites and some more inspiration to help spruce up your holidays.
Well, we appreciate you sharing all of these delicious ideas.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. I'm Storm Team 5 meteorologist Alexis Staniak. We did have a few light snow showers come through to begin the new year here in northeast Wisconsin, but that has left no trace of snow. As of Thursday, snowpack remains anywhere north and further west of here in northeast Wisconsin, and most of the Midwest doesn't have any snowpack on the ground as well. Main place is into the northwestern parts of the country, but so far for this season, we have accumulated almost 10.5 inches of snowfall here in Green Bay, about 5.5 in Detroit, about 4.5 in Indianapolis, and almost 10 inches now up into central North Dakota. Now, since January 1st, we do have numbers that are still below average for our drought monitor, but these are slightly below average. So we're right around where we should be as we began this new year. Places further to the west still seeing more of a strong to severe drought, but places in the southern half of the Midwest are seeing numbers start to improve. So far for the entire year, which has only been a couple days now, we've accumulated about 2/100th of an inch of liquid precipitation here in Green Bay. So not much has come through yet, and we're looking to see the chance to go either below or above average for precipitation as we head through these first 2 weeks of the new year. Most of the Midwest, so especially areas south of Green Bay and south of Wisconsin, will stay below average for precip, whereas places off into North South Dakota and through central Minnesota likely have the chance to see above average numbers come through. For the next couple months, as we finish up the season of winter, most places in the Midwest are looking to stay above normal for precipitation, and same thing for the northwestern part of America, whereas places further to our south will likely stay below normal, and we're seeing more of a cold spell come through as we begin this new year, whereas places off in the western half of the country are likely to see above average numbers for temperatures. It's going to be cold, especially places along the East Coast as we head through the next couple of weeks. Here in Wisconsin, we're likely to see temperatures slightly below average, but we have the chance to go above or below average for temperatures as we head through the rest of the winter. Stay with us. More Ag News coming up after the break.
No doubt we've all contributed to this over the last few weeks, but dairy consumption in the U.S. is hitting near record peaks. Corey, we haven't seen numbers like this in quite some time.
Yes, dairy product consumption is the highest since 1959. Dwight D. Eisenhower was president back in those days.
And you have a new report. Corey is lead dairy economist for CoBank. Forgot to introduce you because I was so excited to talk about cheese. But what is leading to this? Why are we consuming more? Why are we producing more?
There's a number of reasons. About 60% of cheese actually goes into restaurants. And so we eat a lot of cheese in restaurants and prepared food, and this time of year too, charcuterie boards as well.
Yes. And when we look at exports, that's the other half of this story, because you say that even as recent as the 90s, we were kind of a non-player?
Yes, our U.S. dairy industry, even in the early 1990s, we produced dairy products for our consumers at home. Then the world began to change with NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Agreement.
And talk about how that has then shaped what we're doing and where our cheese is going, because we might be surprised to find that a lot of it's staying pretty close to us in North America.
Pretty close, yes, on this continent. So we started producing more cheese, and our best customer is our neighbor to the south, Mexico. And in fact, 1 in 4 dairy products these days are going south of the border. The big dairy products are non-fat dry milk, skim milk powder, and cheese. This year we're on pace. Mexico is going to buy 37% of our cheese exports. That's a big number.
That is incredible. I know Wisconsin, we always talk about the numbers that 90% of our milk goes into cheese. 90% of that leaves our state. Is it leaving our borders too? Is cheese also heading overseas?
Yes, cheese is leaving our borders. And one of the biggest, quickest growing categories is Hispanic style cheeses. Okay. It's a fresher cheese, and it fits some of the cultural traditions of people that live in Mexico.
Let's talk about some of the things that could either keep this trend going or change them. You talked about a change in administration and a change in priorities. What are some of the things that could affect this?
Well, the USMCA is the new NAFTA, the United States-Mexico Trade Agreement, and that has really grown dairy trade between the U.S. and Mexico. And an amazing thing in Mexico, they're actually growing their milk production. It's grown 50 pounds per capita. That means Mexican dairy farmers are producing 50 pounds more milk per person, but that's not even growing fast enough to provide nutritious dairy products for consumers. Certainly, we've heard the word trade on the campaign trail, tariffs on the campaign trail. And if we do have tariffs that get put in place, that would stymie some trade flow, but we'll see what happens as the new year turns.
And you mentioned there are some other countries around the world that are sort of tapped out when it comes to production, whether it's due to certain emission requirements or land base.
The 3 largest exporters in the world of dairy products in this order are the European Union, New Zealand, and the United States. We're a very strong third. But climate change, methane mitigation, carbon dioxide, and carbon credits are some things that are really issues in the European Union. And then New Zealand is a great dairy region. It's the size of Mexico and Wisconsin put together, but you put 6 million cows and 6 million people in that space, you can only grow so much, right? So these days we have billion would it be, dollars of investment in dairy processing plants, and half of that's in cheese.
That's incredible. Corey, when we look at our domestic consumption, we mentioned at the beginning of our segment that it is nearing record. Do we see that trend continuing? Are Americans hungry for more?
Yes, the short answer is yes. Big areas, we do see a lot of growth in cheese. Half of that investment, half of that $8 billion is in cheese facilities, and when you make cheese, you get whey. And dairy proteins are at the highest price right now, and the reason that consumer demand is out there, we have a lot of the weight loss drugs that are out there, and if you're on those, you need to consume very high quality proteins. And the dairy whey, the amino acids found in protein, are as good as we know in humanity, and so that's a big growth area not only in the U.S. but around the world.
Well, Corey has done incredible research on this topic. You're going to want to head over to CoBank's area of their Knowledge Nooks to find out much more about his report. We'll link you right to that full report. Corey, thank you for always bringing us a new perspective and encouraging us that dairy has a very bright future.
Thank you, Malene.
We just wrapped up a busy shopping season ahead of Christmas, but now it's shopping season for farmers. So what is new on the market? Chris Cherapata joins us from Cherapata Seed Sales. Nice to see you.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Keeping your head above water in this busy ordering season?
Yep, slowing down a little bit now.
Okay, so what has been high on the list of things? What are people getting ordered this time of year?
Well, mainly corn, soybeans, alfalfa. It's the big ones, yeah.
Yeah, let's talk a bit about your business. Remind our viewers a little bit about your company and all of the services that you offer.
Okay, so yeah, I started selling seed in 1997, and then through the years it evolved to agricultural products. So I sell bunker covers and twines, and then as of late in 2020 we put up a retail store. And that's been the newest venture.
Yes, you guys were just on before Christmas. I should have waited to do my Christmas shopping because you were a one-stop shop for people. When it comes to seed, though, you do a ton of research in the off-season, so to speak, to make sure you're ready for customers. One of the things you wanted to mention is a new partnership between a large seed company and a big fast food producer. Introduce us to this.
Yeah. So Syngenta, McDonald's, and Lopez Foods, who is a protein supplier for McDonald's, are collaborating to help incentivize producers to reduce the amount of, reduce their environmental impact on beef productivity. So what they're doing is, the goal is to increase feed efficiency. Because as you increase feed efficiency, you can decrease the amount of carbon greenhouse gases emitted per pound of beef produced.
What is special about this seed? How is that accomplishing it?
Well, Enogen seed contains alpha amylase, which quickly turns starches into more usable sugars that are providing more feed for the cattle.
Interesting. So talk about partnerships like this. How do people then get involved at a local level? Will we talk to our seed dealers about it?
Yes. Or you can go to enogen.com/feed forward, and you can get even more information on it. But yeah, to qualify, you just have to be feeding at least 50% Enogen feed on the farm. And then there's a few monthly things that you can, that you send in. And yeah, I guess that's all.
And the benefit for producers, are they doing some cost share? Is there financial benefits?
Yes, and that is, if you go to that website, they can be a little more detailed on that, because it varies for every farm.
Sure.
So but yes, you are incentivized for feeding out the Enogen feed.
And certainly we have beef producers in our area. Dairy farmers can also qualify under certain circumstances?
Yes, absolutely. Both beef and dairy producers qualify for this program.
And ultimately, though, some of the numbers were pretty incredible you shared with me when it comes to climate change. I mean, the equivalent of 32 passenger cars for 1 year, they're saying we can reduce. I mean, these are some big numbers.
Oh, yeah. So there's a third-party study done by University of Arkansas, and they have with that 5% potential feed efficiency on, if you took 1,000 head, your potential annual savings would be 196 ton carbon reduction, 69 acre reduction in land use, and 6 million fewer gallons of water used. Also, 231 kilowatt hours of energy savings, all by feeding Enogen Feed for 1 year.
Fascinating, interesting information. If this is something that might work for your farm, reach out to Chris and his team. They'll walk you through the process. You can learn much more by visiting Cherapata Seeds in Peshtigo or head to their website, CherapataSeedSalesWI.com. Best of luck. Get some rest in the off season, so to speak, and we'll look forward to catching up with you during planting season.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us on Midwest Farm Weekly.